Welcome to the Daredevil Season 2 recap. This video is meant as a refresher, not a replacement. If you haven't seen the show and want the full experience, I absolutely recommend watching it. But if you're preparing for the Defenders, revisiting the Netflix era, or just want a clear reminder of what happens, this recap is for you. Season 2 picks up after the downfall of Wilson Fisk and explores what happens when Hell's Kitchen loses its devil, only to gain something far worse. With Fisk imprisoned, the balance of power in Hell's Kitchen collapses. The Russian mob is finished, the Chinese and Yakuza disappear, and in the chaos, new gangs move in fighting for control of the streets. But almost immediately, the Irish mob is wiped out in a brutal coordinated attack. Only one man survives, Elliot Grotto Grody, who claims the attackers weren't a gang, but an army. Terrified, Grotto seeks protection from Nelson and Murdoch. Karen Page rushes him to the hospital, while the firm struggles financially, continuing to defend people who can't afford to pay. Meanwhile, Foggy learns that other criminal groups, including the Dogs of Hell biker gang, have been slaughtered in the same way. As Daredevil, Matt investigates and discovers that cartel stockpiles of military-grade weapons were stolen by a single man. That man finds Grotto at the hospital. Daredevil intervenes, confronts him on the rooftops, and is shot point-blank in the head. With Fisk gone, Hell's Kitchen isn't healing, it's being tested, and whatever is moving through the city doesn't want control. It wants to wipe the slate clean. Matt survives the gunshot, saved only by his armor, but the damage is severe. His heightened senses are distorted and unreliable, and Foggy insists that he stop and recover. Foggy attempts to place Grotto into witness protection, but District Attorney Samantha Reyes agrees only if Grotto wears a wire to lure out a high-level drug dealer. As Matt's senses slowly begin to return, he asks Melvin Potter to upgrade his helmet and retraces the site of the Irish massacre. One detail stands out: a missing dog. Tracking it leads him to the other vigilante, the man the city is now calling the Punisher. When the sting operation begins, the Punisher attacks first. Police snipers open fire, Daredevil intervenes, but the chaos allows Grotto to escape. Matt is injured once again fighting the Punisher and loses consciousness. Matt wakes up chained on a rooftop, the Punisher's prisoner. The two debate justice. Matt believes no one is beyond redemption. The Punisher argues that the only way to stop criminals is to put them down permanently, that Daredevil only delays the inevitable. To prove his point, the Punisher reveals Grotto, caught trying to flee the city. Matt is given three choices: kill Grotto, kill the Punisher, or do nothing. Matt refuses to choose and breaks free. But in doing so, he gives the Punisher the opening he needs. He shoots Grotto. As Grotto dies, he asks Matt why he allowed it to happen. The Punisher makes his point. Mercy didn't save him, hesitation killed him. Daredevil stops the Punisher before he can continue and escapes with him restrained. But the argument remains unresolved. However, while Matt is fighting off the Dogs of Hell gang, the Punisher escapes. Karen uncovers the truth about the Punisher. His real name is Frank Castle, a former Marine whose family was killed in a gang shootout that was quietly buried. While Karen pieces together Castle's past, an Irish mobster tracks him down and tortures him at the site of his family's murder. Castle escapes and retaliates, killing several members of the Irish gang. Before the violence can continue, Daredevil intervenes, stopping Castle from taking more lives. Rather than let Castle die in the chaos, Daredevil helps him escape the scene. However, Daredevil hands him over to the cops. Matt makes sure the arrest is credited to Brett Mahoney, hoping to restore public faith in the justice system. That night, Matt returns to his apartment and finds someone he hasn't seen in a long time waiting for him, Elektra Nachios. 10 years earlier, Matt met Elektra, the daughter of a Greek ambassador drawn to danger and violence. Trained by Stick, Matt's former mentor, Elektra shared his world of discipline, pain, and controlled chaos. The two bonded over risk, and over time, Matt revealed his abilities and the truth about his father's murder. Elektra pushed him toward revenge, manipulating Matt into confronting the man responsible. She wanted to see if he would cross the line. He refused, and she walked away. In the present, Elektra asks for Matt's help dealing with the Japanese arm of Roxxon Corporation. He refuses, but can't let it go, secretly following her and watching as she plants a surveillance bug. The Yakuza quickly trace it back to her apartment. Cornered, Elektra reveals she's been one step ahead the entire time. She already has Matt's Daredevil suit with her, and she's been drawing danger to herself deliberately. Working together, Matt and Elektra fight off the Yakuza attackers. Elektra is convinced something larger is unfolding beneath the surface of New York, and this time, Matt believes her. He agrees to help, but only on strict terms. No killing, respect Karen, and leave the city when it's over. Meanwhile, Foggy discovers that Reyes intends to tie Castle to additional murders, pushing the case toward the death penalty. Faced with the stakes, Matt and Karen convince Foggy that they can't walk away. They have to defend Castle themselves. As the case moves forward, Karen earns Castle's trust, but in court, Castle rejects a plea deal and pleads not guilty, forcing Reyes to fast-track the trial. Because of his involvement with Elektra, Matt arrives too late to Castle's trial. Foggy is left to deliver the opening statement alone, arguing that the justice system failed Frank Castle's family long before Frank Castle ever pulled a trigger. Behind the scenes, Matt and Karen prepare to expose falsified autopsies tied to the case. But in court, the plan unravels. The medical examiner admits the reports were falsified years earlier under threat, and when the gallery is cleared, he reveals the truth. At some point before his testimony, a masked woman tied him up and forced him to come clean. The judge immediately rules the testimony tainted and throws it out. Matt recognizes the description instantly. He knows exactly who crossed that line and why. This wasn't about helping the case, it was Elektra forcing a choice, deliberately sabotaging the legal fight to push Matt away from the courtroom and toward the war she believes truly matters. When Foggy learns what happened, the fallout is immediate. Trust between him and Matt breaks, and their partnership begins to fracture. Following a lead from the Yakuza ledger, Matt and Elektra track it to an abandoned construction site, where they uncover a massive hole carved deep beneath the city. Matt and Elektra are ambushed by masked ninjas, only to be rescued by Stick. Emerging from the shadows, Stick reveals the truth. Elektra has been working with him all along, fighting a secret war against the Hand. Matt rejects Stick's methods and offers Elektra another path, one that doesn't require abandoning her humanity. For now, she agrees. Back in court, Foggy begins to gain ground with the jury. He reframes Castle not as insane, but as a man shaped by military service and shattered by the trauma of losing his family. Then Castle takes a stand, and the case changes shape entirely. Matt begins his defense, arguing that Castle is a good man who no longer knows right from wrong, undone by war and loss. As he speaks, Castle watches him closely. Something clicks. It's never said out loud, but the recognition is clear in his expression. He knows who Matt really is. That realization becomes the turning point. Castle speaks up with passion, rejecting the idea that he's broken or unwell. He knows exactly what he did. He believes the men he killed deserved it and makes it clear he would do it again. He won't hide behind a diagnosis or accept mercy built on a lie. With that testimony, Castle doesn't just reject the defense, he destroys it, ensuring his conviction and sealing his own path to prison. Castle is transferred to Rikers Island, where his war takes an unexpected turn. Inside, he comes face to face with Wilson Fisk. Back at Matt's apartment, Elektra chooses to stay with him rather than leave with Stick, a decision that feels, for a moment, like hope. That hope doesn't last. A Hand assassin attacks. Matt overpowers him and pulls away the mask, revealing the truth: it's just a teenager. Before Matt can react, Elektra kills him without hesitation. In that instant, whatever hope Matt had left collapses. Matt is horrified, realizing how easily Elektra crosses the line he refuses to, and how far apart they truly are. Inside Rikers, Fisk approaches Castle with an offer. He gives him access to Dutton, a rival operator and the man Castle believes helped orchestrate the events that led to his family's deaths. Castle attacks Dutton, mortally wounding him, but learns the truth is more complicated. Dutton wasn't the mastermind. The trail points instead to a drug trafficker known as the Blacksmith. Fisk then betrays Castle, releasing Dutton's men inside the prison. Castle survives the ambush and slaughters them all. With Dutton eliminated and Castle proving exactly what he is, Fisk sees value in letting him go. He arranges Castle's escape. Before leaving, Castle delivers a final warning. If he and Fisk ever meet again, he will kill him. Meanwhile, Karen uncovers the truth behind the massacre that started everything. It was a sting operation, and Castle's family was collateral damage. As Castle's war sharpens, Matt's deepens. Investigating the hand, he comes face to face with an impossible truth. Nobu is alive. Digging deeper into the hand's operation, Matt uncovers something far worse than he expected. Children being used as human incubators. He rescues them and brings them to Claire Temple, exposing the true horror behind the hand's plans. As the legal case continues to unravel, Reyes finally admits the truth about the sting operation that led to Castle's family's deaths. Before she can face the consequences, she's assassinated in front of Matt, Foggy, and Karen, leaving Foggy seriously wounded in the attack. In the aftermath, Matt connects the final dots. Fisk didn't just manipulate Castle from behind bars, he orchestrated his release. Meanwhile, Karen pushes deeper into the case, refusing to let the truth die with Reyes. That decision makes her a target. An assassin is sent to silence her, but Castle intervenes, saving her life. In that moment, an uneasy trust forms. Karen sees that Frank is capable of protecting the innocent, and Frank sees that Karen believes in the truth he's fighting for. Back at the hospital, the truth becomes impossible to contain. No longer content to operate in the shadows, the hand prepares to move openly. Daredevil arrives in time to save Claire from the hand, but the rescue comes too late for the children. One by one, they willingly leave with the ninjas, sacrificing themselves to power an ancient device tied to the hand's plans. The truth grows darker. An autopsy later reveals that the hand has found a way to resurrect the dead. When the hospital moves to quietly bury the evidence, Claire makes a choice of her own and walks away, unwilling to be complicit in another cover-up. As Matt searches for answers, Castle pushes further into his war. He tracks down operatives connected to the blacksmith, beats their location out of them, and executes them without hesitation, leaving Karen behind, shaken by how far he's willing to go. Following his own lead, Matt confronts Madame Gao. She offers no answers, only a direction, sending him toward the pier. It's a trap. Elsewhere, Stick decides he can't wait any longer. If Elektra won't step away from the war, he prepares to confront her himself. As the war against the hand closes in, Stick finally admits the truth. Elektra was never meant to be controlled. From the beginning, she was trained to be unleashed. Elsewhere, Karen uncovers the final piece of the puzzle. The blacksmith isn't a faceless person. It's a colonel Castle once trusted. When Castle confronts him, Karen pleads for him to stop. He doesn't. The colonel dies, and with him, any illusion that Frank's war can end without destroying everyone around it. The hand's truth is revealed next. Nobu confirms what they've been preparing for all along. Elektra is the Black Sky, a living weapon the hand worships and intends to use. Faced with a destiny written for her by everyone else, Elektra hesitates. Matt refuses to let that fate be decided for her. He doesn't argue prophecy or power, only choice. For the first time, Elektra is offered something no one else has given her, the freedom to decide who she wants to be. She chooses. Elektra turns against the hand's plans and helps Stick escape, a decision that saves him, but leaves her standing alone between the life she was trained for and the one she's still trying to understand. As the fallout settles, Foggy makes a choice of his own. He leaves Nelson and Murdoch behind and joins Jerry Hogarth's firm, a quiet but painful confirmation that the partnership Matt tried to save is over. The hand escalates next, striking openly. They raid a police station and take hostages, including Karen Page and Turk Barrett. Using a final police call, Matt and Elektra track the location and rush in to save them. The rescue turns into a siege. The hand overwhelms them, led by Nobu. Outmatched and running out of time, Elektra makes her choice. She sacrifices herself to save Matt. Matt survives barely. As the fight continues, Castle arrives, turning the tide with brutal efficiency. Stick finishes it, beheading Nobu once and for all. When the dust settles, Matt is left with the cost. He mourns Elektra, but rejects the idea that love made him weak. If anything, it's the only thing that ever made him human. Elsewhere, Castle closes the door on his past. He burns what's left of it and embraces who he is, no longer searching for justification, only purpose. At last, Matt returns to Karen. With nothing left to hide, he tells her the truth. He is Daredevil. But the war isn't over. In the shadows, the hand exhumes Elektra's body and places her into an ancient device, setting the stage for what comes next. Season 2 ends with Hell's Kitchen technically safe, but deeply unsettled. Matt Murdock survives, but at a cost. His law firm is broken, his mentor is gone, and the woman he loved is dead. Frank Castle walks away having finally accepted who he is, no longer chasing closure, only purpose. Wilson Fisk remains behind bars, still pulling strings, still waiting. And beneath the city, the hand prepares its next move, setting the stage for something far bigger than one man in a mask. By the end of Season 2, Daredevil hasn't abandoned his moral code, but he's learned that belief alone isn't always enough to protect the people he loves. Because Hell's Kitchen doesn't just need a hero, it needs allies. It needs the Defenders. That's where Matt's story continues, and you can find that recap next on the channel. Let me know in the comments what your favorite moment from Season 2 was, and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with what's coming next. And remember, we're here to watch the realities and guide you through the timelines.